In this video we are going to break down Help, one of the most iconic songs by the Beatles and the title track of the 1965 album. We will identify the form and the structure of the song. We will analyze the chord progression using functional harmony in order to get the movement of the harmony, when there is tension and when there is release. We will find out the structural tones in order to get the outline melody, the melody on which the chords and the motifs are hooked. And of course, we will get and exemplify the main motifs, which are the parts that get stuck in our head the most. Alright, no time to waste. Let's dive right into analyzing the song Help by the Beatles. Let's start with the analysis of the intro. We have B minor in the first measure, then we have B minor over A in the third beat of the second measure, G in the third measure, and G over F sharp in the third beat of the fourth measure, E7 in the fifth and sixth measure, and finally A. The tonal center is definitely A. To accurately identify the key, we need to place all the chords in the circle of fifths. And we notice that G doesn't belong to A-Ionian scale. If you move the chords 5 minutes counterclockwise, we get the A-MIxolydian scale, and G belongs to this scale. The MIxolydian scale is often used by the Beatles in this song. The note G sharp is lowered to G. This scale is a bit more, let's say, sad compared to the Ionian scale, but it's still a major scale. In fact, the third grade, G sharp, is still a major third interval. But in this case, it's better to think about the key of Help as A-Ionian and the G chord as a Bohr chord, since, as we will soon see, the verse contains chords typically of the major scale, of the Ionian scale, rather than the Mixolydian. The most interesting thing is the movement of the progression. The introduction has a rising tension, conveyed both through the chords progression and the melody. B minor is the second degree, functioning as a predominant. G is the seventh degree, functioning as a dominant substitute. E7 is the fifth, functioning as the dominant. And finally A, the tonic, that releases the tension. So the movement is predominant, dominant substitution, dominant and tonic. In the first 6 measures, tension increases and finally it is released with the tonic. The melody is split into 2 parts, the lead vocal and the backing vocals.
Help! I need somebody. Help! Not just anybody. Help! You know I need someone. Help!
The lead vocals is built around a single structural tone, F sharp, with the melody remaining largely centered on it. By contrast, the secondary vocal line increases tension. It sounds like a cry for help. By progressively ascending in pitch, from F sharp to G, then G sharp, and finally reaching C, before resolving with a downward movement at the end. Only the bass moves in the contrary motion to harmony and melody. B, A, G, F sharp, E, A. The progression of the verse is A, C sharp minor, F sharp minor, D, G, and A. There are 1 chord each 2 measures. Checking the circle of fifths, C minor and D confirm that the scale is A-Ionian. So, great, and what about the movement? A, the first, functioning as tonic. C sharp minor, the third, functioning as dominant substitution. F sharp minor, the sixth, functioning as a tonic substitution. And at the end, D and G functioning as a predominant and dominant respectively, before returning to the tonic A. Thus, the progression moves up and down, alternating between tension and release, resulting in a sense of linear motion. The harmonic tension observed in the introduction is absent here. The melody is fairly flat.
When I was younger, so much younger than today, I never needed anybody's help in any way.
G sharp serves as a structural tone in all measures but the seventh, with the D note. In the measures 6 and 7, a chromatic two-tone pattern seems to mimic the sound of a siren. The chord progression in the chorus is exactly the same as in the intro, except the chord changes occur every 4 measures instead of 2. The melodic material is repeated in the first 4 bars, in the second 4 bars, and the third 4 bars. Only in the last 4 bars, from the 12th to the 16th, there is a variation, but it still follows a descending flow. And in the chorus we have 2 structural tones, E and D, that are very close to each other, yet enough to introduce a descending motion. So, what we have learned. The MIxolydian Scale. The MIxolydian Scale is a major mode. Its sound generally bright and stable, but with a twist. It has a flattened 7th note compared to a regular major Ionian scale. And the Beatles use it often, doing modulation. The hook is in the intro. Generally, it's in the chorus, sometime in the verse, more rarely in the intro or in the outro. Variety versus uniformity. The chords in the chorus are doubled compared to the intro. They add a certain variety to the song without compromising the uniformity. And that sounds great. So, that's it. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let's see you next time. Bye!